everyone, I'm Caroline and today I'm going to make some country themed decorations for the home. I tend to buy things from thrift stores, charity shops and then upcycle them a little bit and see what I can come up with, and I've had great fun with today's projects. Right, no time for chatting, let's get on with crafting. For this craft I've got 6 pieces of driftwood. I've got 2 long ones that are about 2 feet long. There, and I got 4 little shorter ones that are 10 inches long. I had to cut these to size. We're going to make a lovely ladder to put some spring display on. So lay out your ladder with your pieces. I'm using driftwood. You can use wood you find in the forest. You can even use battens or anything. Any wood you find that you are happy with, it'll be fine. Now, you can really make sure these are perfectly lined up, but I don't think that's going to look right because the whole thing is this is quite a rustic look. So I've got those in place. I'm going to glue them in with the blob of hot glue. And then I'm going to tie them up with some twine. But now you've got yourself a real country style ladder, and all you need to do is to add some decorations. Now there are various things you can do. You can make this themed, you can put Easter eggs and an Easter bunny on it. I'm just going to do some spring florals and a nice bow because you know me, any excuse for a bow. I'm going to glue this mouse to the ladder and see if he sticks. I don't know if he will. So I'm just going to put loads of glue on. Making a mess. And then pop him into place. Hold him for a few seconds. I think I'll need to add a little bit more glue down there too. If he sticks, I think he's going to be fun, but I'm a bit dubious. I don't think he's going to. Oh, he's sticking. That's good. So if he's going to be stuck there and it's very messy underneath, I think I'll just put a little bit of something there to hide the fact that he's been glued badly. Yeah, I'll just glue a little bit of lamb's jus in there, like that. Now I've got some of these daisies. And a jar of sunflowers. I've also got this giant sunflower. Oh, I think that's going to look lovely there. And we could put it below the mouse, but now I think there is going to look perfect. So we'll glue that into place. You can see this has already come off something else. I do love to change up my decoration quite regularly. Glue it into place. Oops, it's a slippy slidey one. There. Now, I'm not going to take the backing off these daisies. They sound crazy, but they're sticky all over and they're just going to get messy and stuck to things, and dust and fluff is going to stick to them. So I'm going to just glue the backing paper like that. I think the mouse should be holding the sunflower as well. Cut 2 equal lengths of ribbon. I don't think I'll put a bow on. I'm just going to pretend that the flower is the bow. Just it nice and tight. Cut off the pipe cleaner. And I'm going to glue that up underneath the sunflower. Like that. Oh yes, I'm liking that. I think a bow is going to go nice at the opposite side of the big sunflower, so we'll pop that there. And of course we're not going to leave a bit of pipe cleaner showing. Out with my little bags and see if they're big enough to cover the pipe cleaner. Yep, I think it will be, but I'm going to take that off and actually attach it with hot glue because it needs a bit more oomph than a little sticky to stick on there. And of course we'll have to have some little bees dotted around the place too because they do love flowers. And this is a very flamboyant yellow and green decoration, so I think lots of bees are in order. I've decided not to put anything over this crossover because the tails are covering it nicely. Wow! That was so quick and easy, and look, it looks absolutely fabulous. Let's see what this looks like up on my display. Enjoying these projects, then why not subscribe, and that way then you'll get to see all the other projects that I make throughout the year. We've got some really interesting ones coming up. For this craft I'm going to use this plastic teapot. It's a lovely size. You can see it was 50p. No handle, but I don't think there ever was a handle. No lid, there may have been, I don't know. But I'm going to change this into something that's got a country theme. So let's take the price off and let's get started. I'm going to make a clay mould, and I've got this one. It says farmhouse there. We've got a cockerel, a cow and a pig. I'm going to use the farmhouse label and the cockerel. You can use talc, you can use corn flour. Overdone that a little bit. I wasn't even going to do the cow. Oh well, I might as well brush it all in now. That was very over enthusiastic. I'm going to use this DAS modelling clay. This is white. You can get it in grey or terracotta. And then I'm going to get myself something roughly the shape of what I want before I start pushing it into the hole. Just makes it a little bit easier. And I make myself a nice little mould of the word farmhouse on a ribbon. Right, let's see how we've got on. Apparently if you put this in the freezer for, I don't know, 15 minutes or something, it comes out easier. I've not got the patience for that. And I've never made the cockerel before, and as you can see, his feet didn't come off. Very carefully take them out with this. Now I could say to you, oh, these little moulds are so easy. They're not. The more detail there is, the more fiddlier they become. And as you can see, this is my second attempt and it still wasn't brilliant. But at least I've got 2 legs now for my chicken. Let me get some wood glue. I've got Gorilla wood glue. I'm not going to put too much on, otherwise the weight of the clay, they slither and slide down. So before this dries, I'm gluing it into place. If you wait until it's dry, then you're going to have the problem, you won't be able to bend it around something. And now for the fun part, we're going to try to get this chicken to even look like a chicken when it's on my pot. And now for the fun bit, we're going to try to glue his legs on. Oh, I've lost them. Look, there you are. There's one. This is going to be messy. So, oh sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. So I've stuck my rooster on. Now I'm going to try sticking this front claw on that's a bit suspect, really. Like that. Now just gently press these into place. And then if you've got some tools, it's worth you just try in, which I'm not very good at, is smooth them in so that there's no gap. Otherwise, as you can see, you get a gap all around the edge of your little clay figure. There we go. I'm sure you're all far too polite to say, you've mangled that chicken. That was a bit of fun though. Right, so now we need to clean the mess up. In the ideal world, you would now let this dry, but I'm trying to make the video in time for the show to come out on Friday, so I have to get on with this. Oh, he's a very suspect cockerel, isn't he? Look at the state on that. Hopefully the worst will be hidden when we paint him. Paint is a marvellous thing. So out with my chalky finish paint in Kenwood Cream. Now I just paint over the pot and the clay. Okay, this is one of those disaster crafts. I don't know if it's going to come together, but I'm going to keep persevering. So I'm going to add some Rust-Oleum Furniture Finishing Wax in dark. Now, the idea was to highlight the cockerel. I don't know if I'm better off highlighting him or pulling him off, sticking a blanket over his head, but we'll keep going. So I'm going to pop a little bit on the farmhouse sign, and that should, oh yes, that's making it show up very nicely. And now, it's a bit crazy, I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to put some on my cockerel. Hopefully that will pick up the very bad feet that we've got. Oh, it's okay. I'm not going to go any further than it's okay. But never mind, we've got lots more to do yet. I'm not going to give up until we get right to the end, and then you let me know if you think I recovered it or not. I've also got this here. I was playing around with some ink earlier on. It's a washable purple ink. It got on the bottom of my pot, which then I didn't realise there was some left on, went in the paint, and I can't paint over it because every time I paint over it, it dilutes it again and swishes it into the next layer. So there's not a lot left to go wrong with this pot. Well, perhaps I shouldn't say that. So I'm thinking of putting some of this on the rings going around. Oh, why not? Let's give it a try. Oh yes, I think that's helping. I love putting this wax on and seeing what happens. Makes such a difference. Best try not to get it all over your spout if you're doing one of these. Too late for me. I could put it all over the teapot, but I don't know. I think it may be a bit dark. I'll just put it on the lines. I can always come back in later if I change my mind and then put it all over the teapot. I like to show you my disasters because I think most crafters have disasters. And I always used to think, oh, I'd never be able to do crafts like that. I keep getting things wrong, and then I realise it doesn't matter if you get something wrong as long as you enjoyed the process. Right, so should we go all over the teapot or leave it there? I'm tempted to go all over now. No, I'm going to leave it at that. I know it's a bit untidy and messy, but then again, so is everything else, so it's not going to stand out, is it? That's a little bit of a nuisance there. I don't think I can clean it back off enough. Oh, it's a little bit better. Right, that shall have to do. Then I got this. This was from a baby's crib that I unravelled. It was to say I got it for like some silly amount, like £1 in the charity shop because they didn't want it. Undone all the sewing, pulled it to bits. And now I'm going to put this on as a handle. So I need to cut it about there. I'm going to hot glue this into place, but I'm going to be using some twine to hold it doubly safe. I've got this thicker twine, but I've only got this amount, and I don't think it's going to go around enough times. Oh, it might do. We'll give it a try, and if not, I'll use my thin. Thick wood in there, and hold it in place. And hopefully this will hold it just long enough for me to be able to get the other side on and then tighten it up. That's going to go in there. I think what I'll do, while I'm holding that side in place, I'll put some glue there. And then I'll hold that at the same time. And I'll cut down the timing. And now for another potential disaster. Do we have enough to go all the way round a few times? We'll find out. It can be frustrating when things go wrong. I think it's good as well. It's also more fun because when everything just goes perfectly to plan, you don't really feel, it's nice to have achieved making something. You don't feel like you've overcome some huge obstacle. You've just enjoyed making craft. If I can make this look anywhere near decent, I will really feel I've overcome a rather large obstacle. It's not looking good with this twine. I may just make it. Look at that. Oh, it almost matches up as well. That's pretty impressive. Ooh. And now it looks like that. Next, I'm going to put a flower display in it. I stuff the inside with some old Amazon packaging and then pop in, give it a push. And this side is going to keep popping up. Look at that. Like a Jack in the Box. Whoop. Like a button. So we need to come up with an answer, and I think I've got one. There we go. A little bit of skewer, slightly longer than the hole, and it's holding it down. Another bit of problem solving. Now we just need to put some flowers and some foliage in there, and I thought I'd use some spring flowers. So let's see what I got. You know me, any excuse for a bow, but I'm not going to put a really technical bow on or a really fancy and flamboyant one. I want to put a simple one on. Make a 2-loop bow by tying 2 loops in a knot and you get a bow. I'm just going to put that over there and hopefully it'll distract from my very scruffy looking cockerel. There's just one more thing I want to add. I've got these lovely little ladybirds and bees. And I think that there are going to be some insects around soon, so I'm going to stick just a few. Don't want to overly load it and make it look like it's infested. I'm just going to stick a few. Whoops, they're very fiddly creatures. One there. And I'll put a bee down the front. There. Oh no, I'll put him going into a flower. There. Oh, I'm going to put another bee somewhere else because I like the look on them. So we'll put this bee over on a leaf over here. Oh, and I absolutely love this. I know it's not perfect, and you've seen it warts and all as I was making it. You've seen just exactly how many mistakes there are, but I don't care. I think that's lovely, and I can't wait to see that up on my display. This country craft, I'm going to use this tub. It is 100% naturally sourced sweetener. Wow. Now, I don't want this lip. Can you see that there? So this, you have to pull it upwards like that. Next thing I need to do is do some twine wrapping. I do love a bit of twine wrapping. If you don't want to wrap twine, you can always cover this bottom piece with some burlap. That will do just as good a job. We're going to wrap this with twine up to about 2 inches. So now we've got that, which doesn't look terribly exciting. I'm now going to glue this piece of paper that I cut to size all the way around, because otherwise when you put these sticks together you can just see little bits showing through, and this green is really going to poke through and look terrible. So it's quite an easy job. It's like 1 round of twine. Same sort of thing, but a lot faster. How quickly we've covered that. And don't worry about covering the bottom bit of twine. Take it to there. And then recut it, don't want too much. Okay, so maybe cut that a tiny bit too short. So now I'm going to take these. They are supposed to be roughly the same size, but I think my measuring skills are severely lacking. So let's start adding them to the tub. Hot glue. And then hold it in place just for a few seconds, because it's quite a hefty piece of wood. That one is definitely an ugly duckling. It's longer than anything else. Let's take it off. I don't know what's wrong with that one. I measured that really badly. So let's glue that one into place instead. So that's it all covered. And this big gaping step here, but that's not a problem, because this is where the rope comes in. Now I got to pick the uglier side. Now I ran out of wood there, so I cobbled it up a bit there. So I'm going to say that's probably the uglier side. I'm going to come around there with some of this thick rope. Using twine at the back, start gluing again, and put it about there, wherever you want to put it. This is purely individual choice. I think I'm going to go for that height. Then come around with just a couple of runs. I want this to look really rustic. I think it's starting to look pretty rustic. I think I'm going to do another run as well. Why not? I think it looks so nice. Exactly the same pattern. So that's looking really nice. Next, I'm just going to put a bow on it because you know me, any excuse for a bow. Now, since the theme for today has been yellow and green, I'll probably use my yellow and green ribbon, even though it would look nice if you use something like lilac on it or black and white stripe. This is much easier when you don't have your fingers protectors on. Let's take those off. Start again. I've made a right mess of that. There we go. That's much easier when I can tell what I'm doing with my fingers. I'm going to make some tails again for this. 2 lots of tails, I think. Attach them using the pipe cleaner. And attach the bow. And of course, another little bee for the front of the bow. Why not? Now, as you can see, I've got glue everywhere because instead of putting the glue onto the tub, I was putting it onto the wood and didn't realise I didn't need to go all that way. So we've got rather a lot of hot glue, but that's not a problem because we're going to fill this with florals. So let's see how this completely transforms by adding some foliage and flowers. I think that is so sweet, and when you think you've just been made from an old cardboard tub, a bit of twine and some old bits of driftwood that I found on the beach, I think that's gorgeous. Let's see what this looks like up on my display. Well, that was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed making those projects, even though things didn't go quite to plan, as you saw. We got there in the end, and ultimately I enjoyed the process, and that's all that matters with craft. Craft is for the fun of it. It's different if you're actually crafting to sell. You've got to put a bit more care in, and if something goes wrong, you can't sell it. But when you're just doing it for your own entertainment, that's great. And friends and family, if you're giving a gift to them and it's really heartfelt, it won't matter at all if it's not 100% perfect as they buy in any shop that is mass produced by a machine. Which one was your favourite? I'd love to know. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.